Hello everybody, this is Lara at pureelliottwave.com with some free analysis for you. I'm going to analyse VE chain with you today. I had a vote yesterday. The voting's still open, but it's slowed down, so I'm going to get started. The winner was XDC Network, but there was someone who made multiple votes from the same place. So I can see when you do that, sir, so I'm going to discount those votes. This was number 2, so I'm pushing it up to number 1 because of those multiple votes. So XDC Network coming next. Today, VE chain. I've just updated my Elliott wave count. Let's look at the weekly. My last analysis expected that a primary degree second wave was probably over there, and it is. And, well, it does look like it, increasingly look like it. We've got an impulse up off the low. We're getting a 3-wave structure down in the opposite direction. And there are some technicals which tell us that it's fairly likely we've got a sustained low in place. I've had a stab at a target calculation for you. When we look at the structure of primary wave 1, it subdivides as an impulse. Intermediate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a really good looking impulse. Intermediate 3 is extremely close. It's just 0.00014 greater than or longer than 4.236 the length of intermediate 1. That's a Fibonacci ratio. If we apply the same ratio to primary waves 1 and 3, we get a target at 1.1868, where primary 3 would reach 4.236 the length of primary wave 1. Let's take a look at what's happening up off this low on the daily chart. Here's the low. I've labelled primary wave 2 from this low to this high. This subdivides beautifully as a 5-wave impulse. I can put a little bit more detail in here. I want to add this. Nope. Is this going to work, or is the third wave going to be too short? Yep, that works. So we can see minute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minute 3 ends with an ending contracting diagonal, a strong overthrow of the 1-3 trend line, but then a sharp reversal. We can put some detail in here as well. That's a zigzag for the 4th wave. From this high on down so far, this could be an unfolding zigzag. Not sure whether it's complete. I haven't looked at the technicals for this low. So far we have an impulse for minute A, a zigzag for minute B, and now unfolding into minute C. Let's get some detail in here. Nope, I think I'd put this here and this here. 3 could be over there, and this could subdivide nicely as an impulse. No, I want to put it like this. Is there going to be an overlap? Oh, there is, so no, that won't work. I need to know if this low came before or after this high. Let's have a look in that. Oh, no, I don't. Crypto Compare is not updating my VE chain data for me, so I've got this from Yahoo Finance, so it's daily data only. So this is the difference. If this low is taken for the end of sub-minuet 1, then this low would be part of minuet 2. But I think more likely this low came after the high. So we should put those on the same candlestick. That means we need a little bit more down to go, and it doesn't have as good a fit. So it means that it could just be the 3rd wave of the 3rd wave. Yeah, and now a little 4th wave correction in the last couple of days. Put this down here. So a little bit more down to go. Let's put a channel around this. When this channel is breached by upward movement above and not touching this trend line, then you can have confidence that the pullback for minor 2 is over. The invalidation point is back at the start of minor wave 1, back down here. Minor 2 may not move beyond the start of 1, below 0.015360. If minute C were to reach equality in length with A, that would bring price down below the invalidation point. So I can't use a ratio between A and C to calculate a target for minor 2 to end for you. All I can say is it looks likely, most likely, that the Elliott wave structure of minute C is incomplete, so it needs a little bit more downward movement. Some technicals on the weekly chart. Up off this low from December 2022, this is a really strong bullish candlestick, bullish engulfing candlestick. It engulfs these 2 previous candlesticks here, and it looks like there's a little rounded bottom formed at that low. The bullish candlestick pattern did have some good push from volume as well, so that's good to see. The current week is still a downward week, and volume for the last completed downward week was pushing price lower. That's quite bearish. At this last low down here, volume declined throughout the bear market and was very light at the end. We started to see some good push from volume up off that low. We've seen that before though, and yet the bear market continued. So just because volume pushed price up off this low doesn't mean the bear market can't continue. For the short term, strongest volume is in downward weeks. On the weekly chart, there was a bullish signal from on balance volume back here. Currently on balance volume is below resistance, no signal. ADX is declining, it's at really low levels now. The DX lines are crossing, no clear trend at this time frame. RSI is neutral and it did not exhibit bullish divergence. Well, it might have been very slight between these two pivots, here and here. But we do see bullish divergence between price and money flow. Price here, the close, 0.02579. And the close of this pivot for price, 0.015784. Price is closing lower, money flow is higher. That divergence is bullish and supports the view that a sustainable low could have been found in December 2022. Currently, money flow and RSI are both neutral. And stochastics is at really low levels, starting to show a little bit of an increase up off that low, however, so that's really good to see. And stochastics entering oversold. On the daily chart at this low, we see a dragonfly doji, and that's the only bullish candlestick pattern though, and the only clear one that I can see. Some good strong upward movement here, and it had good push from volume. Now price is falling. I don't see a bullish reversal pattern at the low, and volume is still pushing price lower, and that strongest sessions are downward sessions in terms of volume. But overall, volume again declining as price falls. That was normal throughout the bear market for VE chain, and it's quite common for cryptocurrencies. When price falls, people become less interested, which is exactly the time when price is at low levels that you should be buying. But okay, they'll do it the opposite and lose money. That's pretty common. I can't see a range for on-balance volume. It's falling along with price. ADX indicates a downward trend, which is in a mid-range. It's not nearly extreme yet. There's a long way to go before this trend gets extreme. RSI is just nearing oversold. Exhibited some good bearish divergence at that high. And the low for December 2022, the close here, 28th of December, 0.0156. The close back here, 0.0158. So price closed lower, but RSI was higher, so nice short-term bullish divergence there between price and RSI at the low in December 2022, and between price and money flow on the weekly. So that supports a view that that low in December last year could well be sustained. Unsurprising, we're getting some downward movement after this bearish divergence after RSI reached deeply overbought. RSI is not oversold yet, so there's a little bit of room to go before this downward movement could be ready to reverse. Money flow also falling with price, no divergence. ATR declining as price falls, normal behaviour. And stochastics oversold. So that's my conclusion for VE chain. I think there's a little bit more downward movement. I wouldn't expect, or I think it's very unlikely for there to be a new low below 0.015360. For the short term, I'm expecting a little bit more downward movement to complete this pullback, and then I'd be using this trend channel on the daily chart for confidence that this downward movement is over and the next bullish run may then be underway. And I would label that still within intermediate wave 1 within primary wave 3. So I wouldn't label intermediate wave 1 over here. That's too short. Look how long this was. This is wave 1 within wave 1. This is wave 1 within wave 3. So intermediate 1 incomplete. Still to continue higher after this pullback's done. That's it from me with VE chain for you today, and XDC network coming up next.